Hey guys, we are back with season 13, episode 13 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This episode was called 10-10-2020 because we're finally at Cynthia's wedding. So if you have your notes, I have mine. Let's get on into it. So Cynthia's wedding was rained out. Listen, what really can go wrong did go wrong with this wedding, which is really no surprise. It seems like with all the adversities that she faced throughout this whole wedding process, she really wanted this thing to happen. So when you have a rehearsal dinner in your living room with Papa John's, I'm here for it. And let me tell you why. Because Papa John's holds a very, very, very special place in my heart. Papa John's has the best garlic sauce in the whole pizza industry, and you can fight me on that if you do not believe it. I will literally get pizza from other places sometimes and still drive to Papa John's to get the garlic sauce because it goes together. Like, if I don't have the garlic sauce, I don't eat pizza. So I, by default, just go to Papa John's all the time. But this is not about Papa John's. They are not sponsoring this yet, okay? We're going to put that as yet, okay? Till we get some brand sponsorships yet. Anywho, it was a really, really nice event. All of Cynthia's family flew in, friends and family and stuff. Some of the girls came in. We actually saw Eva, which was really, really cool, just to see Eva and her skinny self, back across our screens. I feel like this is a lesson for all of the Housewives shows in terms of never leave on bad terms, right? Because if you don't leave on bad terms, and you can literally come back, put yourself in an episode, hawk a product, show the camera your face or whatever, and just get it in the viewers' minds. Oh, I wonder what Eva's, going through. I wonder what her story is. And then maybe you'll be back in a subsequent season. So Eva is the poster child for do not block your blessings and do not burn bridges, because you can always come back. Kenya's still pushing this Bolo narrative with Porsha. Is it desperate or not? I don't know why. Maybe it's because people's attention spans are low, but I literally was like, oh, why is Kenya still talking about this? And then I realized it was just like, last week or the week before. So I think I'm past it because, it happened. All right, cool. Did she or didn't she? I say she did, but it's not really that big of a deal. Portia's an adult and she wasn't in a relationship, so it really doesn't matter. Kenya is like a dog with a bone with this though, and I think she's like a dog with a bone on it because, she said it in the episode. She basically said how if it was her, they would have held her feet to the fire. So in that same mindset, Kenya, I get it in terms of why you pushing this narrative and why you're trying to get, Marlo on your side and Candy on your side and all this other stuff. But girl, you might just want to take this L because it doesn't seem like anybody's really featuring this anymore. But I could be wrong, and maybe next week, I'll think differently because I do have the right to change my mind. Moving on, the niece's party. I thought the niece's party was really, really nice. As you can see, I'm in this little sheer number today because I was inspired by Marlo and her tick old bitties, baby. But I said, I already showed my tick old bitties a few episodes ago with the bachelorette party or whatever. So I said, y'all can get a soft view of them today through this sheer top because we ain't trying to offend nobody, and I'm still trying to, get my subscribers up in this YouTube game. So, y'all subscribe when you get a chance. But it was really, really nice seeing these girls. I guess the younger set, the nieces, get together and have just a very, very nice night. I didn't even know they had Jenga games where it had shady questions on the back where you could talk to your friends about it. So I need to look for that on the Amazon and see if I can find it. Is Marlo a pawn in Kenya's game? I am leaning towards yes. I do believe that Kenya's apology and, Kenya and Marlo's joint apology was sincere, but I do feel that the timing of it is a little bit suspect, especially when, Marlo was one of those people who did hear some of the words that, emanated through the hallway at the bachelorette party in terms of, Porsha and Tanya allegedly in the room with the stripper. So one of my friends always says, how do you build a house? You have to assemble all the pieces, right? And so it's like, how do you create this narrative? How do you perpetuate this narrative? You have to get the people and the pieces that make sense, right? So you have Candy over here who's, a little bit reluctant because Candy is a secret keeper. She's not really wanting to play in Kenya's mess, but she did hear it, so she is a piece of it. And then she also has Marlo, who at her core, Marlo really wants to be Kenya's friend. And so I don't think Marlo is intentionally doing her dirty work, but I do feel that Kenya is playing into or Kenya is using Marlo as a pawn in this whole situation, whether Marlo sees it or not. LaToya and Drew blow up. Listen, I am Team Drew in this situation because Drew finally learned that this show is, you can be fake with people one day, you can be real with people the next, you can blow up one day and cry with them, and then the next day, y'all hugging it out. Drew came in there with the best of intentions and the best of spirits, okay? She even danced, she twerked on LaToya a bit. LaToya's problem is that LaToya doesn't know what team she's on, right? So, in the words of Nene Leakes, when the wind blows, you're over here. When it blows another time, you're over there. You need to decide what team you're on. And the problem why you can't decide what team you're on is because you don't know where you fit in this group. Traditionally when you're brought in through a person in this group, she was brought in through Kenya, that's sort of where your allegiance lies. The only little, I guess, idiosyncrasy I could see is sort of Eva. When Eva came in, she was Nene's friend, and then sooner rather than later, she became, Porsha's friend, and she was just bouncing around and stuff like that. But LaToya started that whole thing. Listen, if you're going to make up with somebody and you're going to leave everything in Isle of Palm, South Carolina at the table and y'all had made up and stuff, there was no need to bring up, the whole thing about Drew saying that she doesn't respect marriage or, you can't drink because, I've never seen you not drunk. And I feel like when you start along those narratives, what you get is what you give, And so Drew's the type, I will not start anything with you, but I will finish it. And I really don't think LaToya wants that smoke. Hell, through the TV, I don't want the damn smoke because Drew was on her business. She was not playing around. She said, LaToya forever. No, LaToya never, ever, ever will be. Okay, so LaToya, decide what team you're on. And the whole thing about spreading Kenya's business, it's like I said, you have to decide what team you're on. Either you're on the niece's team or you're on the auntie's team with Kenya and the rest of them girls, or you just have to figure out where your allegiances lie, because if not, you're going to be viewed as a flip-flopper, and you'll soon find yourself in that whole Sheree Whitfield position where, you are the bone carrier and you don't have allegiance to nobody, but because you don't have allegiance to anybody, you don't have any allies. So just be careful. Cynthia's wedding, which was just, I guess, the real meat of this episode. It was just very, very pretty. I am not really a wedding person. My financial background doesn't really lead me to spend that much money in one day, but I can appreciate, if you can afford it, the beautifulness and the grandeur of the situation. It was just really, really nice. They followed all the COVID protocols that they could, and it seems that it just, it went off in spite of all of the hitches that they had. It went off in a really, really nice way. Because at the end of the day, it was really about Cynthia and Mike and their love together. And I feel like that's what really shone through the screen. They say you never bring somebody down without building them back up, right? So I just built Drew back up with me going up for her in the last scene, right? But now, Drew girl, I got to tear you back down, and let me tell you why. You did all this damn, and then you gonna come with the crocodile tears on the damn FaceTime talking about how you done lost your voice. You see, that's because God don't like ugly. You cannot be over here perpetuating that you this, grand singer. I'm about to sing this angel of mine. I'm doing all these vocal runs and vocal exercises and getting my voice together, and I'm about to, kill it for the people, and then you don't kill it. And this is exactly why in my last video I said, don't overhype your qualifications, right? Because if you didn't go around talking all this mess or whatever, nobody would have been any of the wiser if you ended up with laryngitis or, a frog in your throat, or I can't sing itis, or whatever it was that you came down with that day. Nobody would have been any of the wiser. But because you made such a big deal of you vocalizing and you singing Angel of Mine, people gonna read you on this one, okay? And they didn't read you that much because Cynthia had bigger fish to fry, but I can definitely tell you, when it comes to that reunion, they're gonna get your ass all the way together, okay? So in the future, do not overhype yourself. And Cynthia, in the future, girl, if you got the money to do this damn wedding, just hire Monica, okay? You give Monica a nice nominal fee, she will tootsie roll on there and turn that wedding out with her vocal ability. So moral of the story is find Monica next time. Porsha and Dennis. I wrote down this quote because I just really want to talk about it. If we didn't have a baby, you would be over me and I'd be over you. I think that really just sums up the whole Porsha Dennis conversation, because they got together so quickly, and I think everyone around them was saying the same thing, just in terms of, slow it down a little bit. One day you're infatuated with him, the next day y'all are like moving in together, the next day you're pregnant, and it just seemed to go down this road. And listen, some of those situations can work out well, and these fly-by-night relationships, and you're together for X number of years, and sometimes they don't work out, right? And so it's just so true that if they didn't have a baby together, and if they didn't have, when you have a baby with somebody, you stuck with them for about 18 years, and that's really just on facts with it. So the moral of the story is be careful who you lie down with, okay? And I'm not saying Dennis is a bad choice at all. Dennis is great. He's a business owner. He's a Black man doing things in his community. He's rich as all get out, right? But it's a sense of, take your time to figure out whether or not this person is somebody that you really want to be with on the long term, right? Because it's very hard in a fly-by-night relationship to decide whether or not these last 6 months or 3 months that you spent with somebody can translate into an 18-year plus situation when you have a child to raise. So I totally believe that if they didn't have a child together, they would not be together. And that's literally on facts, because Porsha can get whoever she wants, and I'm sure Dennis can as well. But it just seems like, and listen, the child was conceived out of love, so that's always a good situation, and children are a blessing, and whatnot. But if they didn't have a baby together, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And sometimes, listen, that's the key of this whole situation. Listen, let a fly-by-night relationship be a fly-by-night relationship, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Anywho, guys, if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Stereo at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, my loves, bye.